Hi everyone, and welcome back to another casual beading tutorial. For today I will be using items from the Bargain Bead Box January 2025 Dusty Rose collection. And in a previous video I had made a pendant to go along with this necklace, and this necklace, or that whole video, was deleted, or so I thought. I just finished that video again for the second time, went back to my computer to download it to my computer, and then realized I had not deleted it. So now I have two of the same video. But it is what it is. Technology is sometimes fun. So with this today, during that video, I had mentioned that I was going to do something with this necklace. That I had already made this the first time around, and then with the second time around I made a new necklace, basically with the same pattern, but I added the pendant back to the previous necklace. So with this, I'm going to make a convertible necklace, and with that, if you're not sure exactly what that is, I already have the necklace portion made. This is about 18 to 19 inches, somewhere in around that size. I'm going to make a bracelet that goes along with it using another toggle clasp, so that way if you want to wear a really long necklace, you can attach your bracelet using your toggles. Or if you just want to wear the necklace and then have a somewhat matching bracelet, then you can wear that. You'll have yourself a little set. So to do that, we'll need the following tools. We'll need to make yourself a necklace. So I will link the video down below, just in case you have not seen that one yet, on how to make the necklace portion. The only thing different with the necklace is that in the center here, where you see there's two bicones, that's where your pendant is going to go if you're making the necklace portion with the pendant. So that previous video. So that is the only thing different that you would have to do compared to that video and what we made here. The other things you're going to need some crimp tubes, because we're going to be using some wire, which today I'm going to be using the Pro Econoflex by Soft Flex. It's a 49 strand beading wire, and it is in the gold color, the golden color. You're going to need another toggle clasp. So this is going to be the third toggle clasp out of this month's box. You're going to need the bicones from this box, the small rondelles from this box, the disc beads, which are going to be the last two disc beads that I have. I am going to also use just one little focal bead in between everything, so this will be kind of the center of the bracelet. It's not in this necklace at all. These beads are not in the necklace at all, so if that bothers you, you can always redo your necklace and include these beads also. These are the faceted 6mm rhodonite beads. Yeah, 6mm rhodonite faceted beads. That's also in the box as well. I just went through my strand and picked out one of the ones that was more red in color, because I felt like the red went along with the antique bronze and then with the shades of purple that I have a little bit better than some of the other beads. And then the only other thing that I have here on the mat so far is the Miyuki seed beads, the 11-Os. This is a transparent purple of some sort. If you're interested in the Miyuki number, it is number 157. So if you have that particular number at home, then you can follow along with me with the same beads. So go ahead and gather this part up, and before I forget, you're also going to need some pliers, flat nose, chain nose pliers, something like that, if you like to do just flat crimps. So one of these two types of pliers, if you like to do flat crimps. If you want to follow along with me and learn how to do a ball of crimp with the magical crimpers, I will show you how to use those to the best of my knowledge, because I'm still learning how to use those myself. And I believe that is everything. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. If I did, I will let you know in the next portion of the video. So gather up your items as well as your Bead-On-It-Board and meet me back and I'll show you the first step. Okay, so now I have cleared off the necklace off the beading mat. I put that off to the side because we don't need that just yet. I have my spool of the beading wire. I'm leaving everything on the spool So I'm going to bead directly onto the wire here while it's still on the spool. I just feel like that uses up not as much wire, so you're not kind of estimating, trying to figure out what size bracelet you need and things like that. Sometimes I feel like I use too much wire when I do it that way. I've learned this from a different beader, watching some of her YouTube videos, and she's been doing it with this type of wire and as well as other like normal type of wire, like 22 gauge and 20 gauge and so on and so forth. And I feel like I don't use as much when I follow the way that she's been doing it. So I've been starting to do that. So we're going to do a certain pattern. I think I have everything figured out, so hopefully I don't mess it up too much. But we're going to do a pattern that is similar to the necklace, but not quite exact. So I'm going to start off with the bicone. I did that with the necklace as well. I'm going to do 3 seed beads, which is also the same part of the necklace. So 3 seed beads. And then we're going to put one of the little rondelles on there. So we're going to do this pattern where it is, there we go, it is a bicone, 3 seed beads, and a rondelle. And so we have 3 bicones and 3 rondelles. So we're going to continue this on, so then we would add 3 more seed beads. You're always going to have 3 seed beads in between everything. Your next bead is going to be a bicone. And then 3 seed beads. And a rondelle. And this is just simple stringing. There's nothing specific about it, other than we're just following a pattern. 3 seed beads. And I'm adding my 3rd bicone on this side now. So I'm going to add 3 seed beads. Well, maybe. I think the edge of the wire is kind of getting frayed a little bit. It's not going in the seed beads very easily. There we go. So 3 seed beads. Our next bead is a rondelle. And that is 3 bicones and 3 rondelles. Once I find the hole. Wherever the hole is. There it is. Okay, so now I have 3 bicones and 3 rondelles on the wire. So now we're going to add our 3 seed beads, because we always have seed beads in between everything. Now, technically it would be a bicone next, but we're going to add our disc beads. Now the disc beads sometimes have a little bit of extra stuff on the inside of the beads, and that has to do something to do with how they store it, how they manufacture the beads, something like that. It's one of these little things, kind of looks like a little seed. Sometimes that's found in these. Just pick it out with either your wire, or if you need to get a needle or something like that, just pick it out that way. And then we put one of those guys on. Then we're going to follow it up with 3 seed beads. And if your wire feels like it's kind of getting frayed a little bit on the ends, you can always just snip off the very end of it. And then we're going to go ahead and put a rondelle on, because that would be the next bead. And then 3 seed beads. Your next one in this case is going to be a bicone. We're going to change it up again this next time, because this will be the center of the bracelet. And then 3 seed beads. Which I'm getting to the point where I'm not able to pick up very many seed beads, so I'm going to go ahead and just snip off just that very end. And put it off to the side. That'll kind of help it. There we go, that's much better. And then you would technically be putting another rondelle in as your next one. I'm going to go ahead and put our faceted rhodonite bead in its place. That's going to be kind of the center of the bracelet. And I wear about a 7¼ inch bracelet. Sometimes about a 7½ inch bracelet is comfortable for me. So I added 3 seed beads. I'm basically doing the opposite of what I've already done. So the next one would be a bicone, then 3 seed beads. So this is going to fit, if you follow this exact pattern, about a 7¼ to 7½ inch bracelet is what it's going to end up being. And in this case, we're going to put a rondelle. So we're going to add our next 3 seed beads, and then we're going to put our disc bead on next. Always follow it up with 3 seed beads again, and then we're on the down stretch. So now we just need to add our last 3 more rondelles and 3 more bicones, alternating those in between the seed beads. So we have a rondelle next, and then 3 seed beads. My stomach is starting to growl, so hopefully you don't hear that. If you do, I apologize. It's getting that time of the day that either a snack of some sort and or a very late lunch is needed. I have already eaten lunch, but I ate kind of early today. So I think a snack is what is in order when I get done with this video. So I apologize if you hear my stomach growling. Okay, bicones next. Seed beads. The rondelle. And then seed beads and a bicone. I like to try to end with the bicones just in case you need to run your wire back through the last bead that you used. And then there's your bracelet. But the bicones have a little bit slightly bigger of a hole than the rondelles do. The rondelles probably would fit the two lengths of wire through it also, but I just like to start and end with the bicones. That's just my preference. Doesn't really matter though. So now we're going to move the seed beads out of the way a little bit so they don't get in the way. And then, let me get my measuring tape out so I can show you how I typically measure my bracelets, because I do not have a bracelet mandrel yet. I plan on purchasing one when it gets to that point of financially I can get one. So try to get this as straight as possible, and it is around 6 inches in length, which is just about perfect for me. When I'm using wire like this, I usually only do about 6, maybe 6½ inches of stringing. That's only because I know when I add the clasps and everything, it's going to be a little bit looser than if I were using thread and needle. So that's just, I just know myself, that's just what I know is going to end up happening. So I'm going to put the crimp tube on first. So there's the crimp tube. I'm going to go ahead and add the loop portion first. We're going to go back through the crimp tube. Give yourself a little bit of room so you can hold on to it. And then make this loop at the end close to the toggle, but not too close to where the toggle can still kind of move around some. Then you grab your magical crimpers. On the inside of the crimpers, there's a little concavity that's in there. And what you're trying to do is center that crimp tube, which these are the 2x2 crimp tubes. So you want to center that crimp tube in the middle of that concavity. So I put it in right like this. See if I can get it to focus. That's a little bit better. So right in there. And then make sure it's in the center as best as possible. Whoops. As I'm losing grip of my wire. And then you squish down. And when you squish down, it pinches up the corners on the four corners of the bead, so it kind of looks like a flattened square right now. To make it more of like a ball of crimp, turn it 90 degrees, put it back in the center of your pliers again, so it kind of looks like that now, and then you want to squish down again. Then you're going to turn it just a little bit, center it up, squish, turn it a little bit again, squish, and keep doing that in different angles. Oops, just making sure that you're in the middle of that little concavity each time you do this. And when you do that, once you get to a point where it does not give you resistance anymore, then you should have a little ball of crimp around your wire. Something similar to that. Now my crimp is still not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. I'm getting there. I'm still learning how to use this little guy. Oh, here comes my kitty cat Kylie. So to test it out, you can always take your wire, tug on it like this. If it's not moving, then it's going to be on there. Now you want to, you can if you like, you don't have to, but you can always go back through that last bead again with the excess wire, and then I cut it off as close to that bead as I can, and then you have one side of your bracelet done. So now we're going to push all the beads down to the end, and then just make sure that extra wire sticks in that bead. There we go. Just make sure that you're not making your bracelet too tight. In order to do that, just kind of coil it up like this a little bit, so that way it gives it a little bit of movement with your beads, so they're not so tight and so stiff feeling. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to give myself about 2.5 to 3 fingers widths, and cut the bracelet off the spool. We're going to add the other side of the crimp tube, or the other crimp tube, to add the other half of the toggle, which is the bar portion of it. You go back through your crimp tube, go back through that last bead if you want to. You don't have to. I'm going to come out before the seed beads. And then I will hold on to, if I can get it to go through, there we go. I will hold on to the toggle, or the bar portion of the clasp, and slide it down to where it is along the bracelet. So kind of coil it up a little bit again, make sure that it's not too tight. And then I want to give myself enough room for the toggle, the bar portion of the toggle, to flop around a little bit. You don't want it too tight. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of room in between the bead and the crimp tube, so that way you can put your pliers in there and not squish and or break the bead. So now my crimp tube is in the pliers. It looks to be just about in the middle, not quite though. So I'm going to move it just ever so slightly. And then I'm going to squish down. I think I was still off a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get this. We'll get the hang of this eventually. And then squish down. Turn it a little bit and squish. And then squish. And squish. And keep squishing until you don't have any more resistance with the crimp bead. Now, if you're learning how to do magical crimpers and you're just not liking the outcome of it, you can always use a crimp cover if you like. I try to use as little items in my bracelets and different jewelry as possible, but I also want it to look nice though too, because I do sell my products. I do craft events in different, I go to some farmers markets here in the area, just different events like that. So I do sell my products in and around the Houston area, and I want my stuff to look nice. So that is now set in there as best it's going to go, and so I'm giving it a little bit of a test. Seems to be just fine. So I'm going to make this tight up against that bead, cut off the excess of this, and now we have a bracelet to go along with our necklace. Let's see if I can get this to come on real quick. And see, it's a perfect size for you to be able to clasp your bracelet. And it's a little loose for me, so like I said, it's probably going to be closer to about a 7.5 inch bracelet. So you have a bracelet if you like, or you can attach it to your necklace portion, like we were talking about. So here's the necklace, and then attach it to your necklace portion with the toggle or the bar going through that side, and then the bar going through the opposite side without it falling out. And then now you have a really long necklace that you could wear if you wanted to. So you can have either the really long necklace, or you can have the shortened necklace, which is, like I said, somewhere around 18 and 19 inches. And then the bracelet is about 7.5 inches or so. So we're looking at a necklace that's around 24 to 25 inches-ish, somewhere around in there. So that is my convertible necklace and bracelet tutorial. So thank you very much for watching, so I really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment and you would like to name this convertible necklace and bracelet, please leave that comment down below. I will choose one of those comments and I will put these items up on my Etsy shop here shortly, probably within the next couple of weeks or so. And that way you can purchase this if you like. The events that I have coming up in the year will also be listed whenever they do get confirmed. I have a few that I'm waiting on at the moment to see if I am approved to be able to attend. So once those are approved, I will start making little comments either on here on the YouTube page, or I will put them up on my website, or both. So all of that information, my Etsy page, my website, anything like that is all listed down below. So if you ever have any questions, you can always go there. And I think that's about it. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you something, but I think that's about it. So I thank you again for watching. So if you like what you're seeing here, go ahead and hit the like button. It always helps me out tremendously for my channel, as well as if you would like to see more, you can always hit subscribe. That again helps me out with my channel. So thank you very much, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks guys. Bye.